guys! How are you today? Welcome back to my channel, Adventures in America. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn, and for today's topic, we are going to discuss the latest travel restrictions in the Philippines. There are also new rules that are being imposed to travelers. But before we get started, please like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Please take note that the Philippines is not yet open for international tourism. I'm going to repeat this because there are certain foreigners who don't have any family members who are trying to come to the Philippines and they are being denied boarding or denied entry. Please remember, the Philippines has not yet opened for international tourism as of this date. It doesn't matter if you are fully vaccinated. It doesn't matter if you are coming from a green lane country. If you are a foreign tourist without a family member, such as a spouse or a Filipino child based in the Philippines, you cannot enter the country. Also, another update is that the visa on arrival for foreign tourists has been suspended since March of 2020. So for all of you who are wondering if this visa on arrival will still be implemented once the Philippines reopens for international tourism, we don't know yet. So if you are planning to come to the Philippines, please familiarize yourself with getting an entry visa from a Philippine consulate abroad covering your residence. I will discuss later on who are the eligible passengers, including the foreign nationals who can enter. Now, the Interagency Task Force in the Philippines issued resolution number 143, and it will be effective starting October 14th. Now, this resolution will be applicable for all international arriving passengers who are eligible to travel. So this resolution was released on October 13th, and here are the rules such as the testing and quarantine protocols for all international arriving passengers. First, foreign nationals will have a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. And there will be no facility-based quarantine, and he will be enjoined to self-monitor until the 14th day. Now, for Filipinos, there are actually two choices. First, facility-based quarantine until the release of a negative PCR test, which could be within 2 to 3 days, or a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. Also, no facility-based quarantine, and you will be enjoined to self-monitor for any symptoms until the 14th day, with the first date being your first day of arrival. Now, for unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, or individuals whose vaccination status cannot be verified or validated, there will be a facility-based quarantine until the release of a negative test taken on the 5th day. So you will have 5 days of hotel quarantine, and you will need to secure a hotel for at least 6 days. The RT-PCR test will be conducted on the 5th day. Now, if you have minor children traveling with you and they are not vaccinated or partially vaccinated, you will have to observe the quarantine protocols regarding or corresponding to their vaccination status. Now, there are validation for vaccination status for overseas Filipino workers together with their spouse, parent, or children traveling with them vaccinated in Philippines or abroad. So you need to have a Vaccinated digital certificate or the Bureau of Quarantine World Health Organization International Certificate of Vaccination or ICV. So for foreign nationals vaccinated abroad, for example, U.S. passengers, you will have an ICV or National Digital Certificate of the foreign government which has accepted the Vaccinated under a reciprocal agreement. Now, the requirement is that if you are merely a transiting passenger from a green list or non-green list country, you are not deemed to have come from or having been in said country. And for those qualified for green lanes, the Bureau of Quarantine shall ensure strict symptom monitoring. Now, there will be other rules for immigration purposes, and please abide by all these rules. Due to the COVID pandemic, the visa-free privileges for all foreign nationals has been suspended since March of 2020. However, there are certain foreign nationals who can still enter the Philippines. Here are the eligible passengers to the Philippines. First, Filipinos. Filipinos have the right to travel. All Filipinos can travel to the Philippines. Second, dual citizens. Dual citizens are those who possess another citizenship and can come to the Philippines provided they must have a foreign passport or a Philippine passport, or if there's no Philippine passport, must bring the dual citizenship document. There are 3 pages to the dual citizenship documents. Another set of passengers are former Filipinos. Former Filipinos can travel to the Philippines whether traveling alone or whether traveling with their foreign spouse or foreign children. If traveling with a foreign spouse or foreign children, the foreign spouse and foreign children can also avail of the Balikbayan visa, which is valid for 1 year visa-free in the Philippines. Here are the only foreign nationals who can travel to the Philippines provided you secure a valid and existing visa at the time of your entry. First, if you are a foreign spouse and your Filipino spouse in the Philippines, you must have an entry visa from a Philippine consulate abroad. Also, if you are a foreign parent, it doesn't matter if you are traveling with a Filipino child or if the Filipino child in the Philippines, all foreign parents must secure an entry visa from a Philippine consulate abroad. Another set of foreign nationals allowed are children or foreign children with special needs of Filipinos. The foreign parent must have a visa, and also foreign parent of Filipino children with special needs regardless of age. This foreign parent must have a valid visa. Other foreign nationals are accredited foreign government and international organization officials and their dependents, foreign airline crew members, foreign seafarers with 9C visa, and also immigrant visa holders 13A, 13B, 13C, 13D, 13E, and 13G. And another type of special resident and retirees visas are also eligible to travel in the Philippines. Another new rule is that you must register at least 24 hours through the Onehealthpass, and this is for quarantine purposes. All fully vaccinated individuals from green lane countries only will have a negative test before arrival. And for Filipinos, you have 2 choices, either negative test or hotel quarantine until the release of your negative test. For those not coming from a green lane country and you are unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, or has unverifiable vaccination, and mostly all U.S. passengers will have to pre-book their hotel for at least 6 days and stay in a hotel-based facility for 5 days. Now, here are the updated list of green lane countries. There are actually 49 countries in the green list, and this starts from October 1st until October 15th. So the government can easily update this, extend this, or totally put a new list by October 15th. Also, you must be in this list of countries in the last 14 days. Regarding the health protocols, of course, you must wear a face mask and a face shield. You must download the Traze mobile application. And also, the ECIF form must be completed before flying to the Philippines. For those of you who are flying through PAL, there is a separate ECIF for PAL passengers. Also, if you're flying through the Cebu airport, there is a separate ECIF form for Cebu passengers. Now, for all other non-PAL passengers or those who are flying through a foreign airline, you must register through the Padlab.ph for COVID testing. Please remember that there are now 6 ports of entry in the Philippines. Manila, Cebu, Clark, Laoag, Subic, and Davao. Please be aware of the specific requirements for each of these port of entries. Now, there is an important reminder for those non-overseas Filipino workers or those non-Filipino passengers on Middle East flights to Manila. So if you're coming from Middle East and if you are going to Manila, your flight will arrive at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, Terminal 1. Your RT-PCR test will be administered by the DOH-accredited Padlab. Now, if you are traveling through PAL or Philippine Airlines and you are going to Cebu, there is a separate ECIF or Electronic Case Investigation form for Cebu passengers. Also, all arriving international flight passengers are required to register not earlier than 5 days prior to departure. A travel registration number or TRN will be generated once registration is complete. Now, if you are arriving in Laoag City, here is the requirement. In compliance with the provincial government of Ilocos Norte, requirement for pre-flight COVID-19 screening, passengers are required to present a negative antigen or RT-PCR test result showing the date of specimen extraction was not made more than 48 hours prior to scheduled time of departure. The test result must be presented upon check-in and upon arrival in Laoag. For those arriving in Davao, in compliance with the Davao LGU requirement for pre-flight COVID-19 screening, passengers are required to present a negative RT-PCR test result showing the date of specimen extraction was made not more than 72 hours prior to arrival in Davao. The test results must be presented upon check-in and upon arrival in Davao. For those arriving in Subic, you must register through the ECIF Red Cross for your COVID testing. Now, if you are an overseas Filipino worker, make sure to register through the balikpinas.ph or the OWA Oasis program of the government so you can avail of the free hotel, transportation, COVID testing, and food. I will send the link in my description for all of this information. For all passengers coming from a green lane country, there are strict rules that must be complied with. First, the port of origin is a green list country or territory. Number 2, you must stay exclusively in a green list country in the last 14 days prior to arrival in the Philippines. Number 3, you are fully vaccinated whether in the Philippines or abroad. And number 4, the vaccination status can be independently verified or confirmed by Philippine authorities as valid and authentic upon arrival. Again, for all of you who recently traveled in the Philippines, please share your travel experience and let us know what you think of the travel restrictions. Also, you can include your local government unit and also the travel restrictions pertaining to the local area. Again, thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you guys for tuning into my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.